Greetings fellow ukuleleans, Jeff Weinberger coming at you here with a new ukulele tutorial. I'm sure you all recognize that, Won't You Be My Neighbor by Mr. Rogers. Actually his piano player, guy's name was Johnny Costa, and I think he was a Philadelphia area musician. He wrote that, great jazz pianist Johnny Costa, but the song sung most famously by Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers on his show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I figured we'd go over that today. It's kind of an offbeat thing to do a tutorial on. I know some of you are like shaking your heads. What, Mr. Rogers? Why are we doing that? Well, I grew up with this stuff. I really have a fond place in my heart for Fred Rogers. He was a fantastic human being. He helped a lot of people. He really had a great show, really good show for children, and even as adults, you know, we sometimes forget these things about being good to each other. So I think little Mr. Rogers won't hurt you. Plus, Tom Hanks did that movie real recently, which I know got a lot of accolades. So let's get into the song. It's one of those progressions that most often is labeled a 1-6-2-5. That's a jazz term for the one chord of the key, in this case the key of C. And then the sixth chord, we're going to be doing an A7. The 2 chord, D minor 7. And G7, the 5 chord. And I will make a song sheet available. I will probably link to other song sheets out there, although I did not find one on the internet that was 100% accurate, that really satisfied me. And so I will make a link down below to a song sheet that doesn't have the lyrics and all of that, but it'll show you what I consider the proper chords and chord diagrams in case you don't catch some of these. So again, 1-6-2-5 in the key of C is C. It's A7, it's D minor, and it's G7. So basically for the verse, we're going to be doing that 4 times. Da 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 ba ba ba, da 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 da, won't you be mine? Won't you be mine? And then again, it's a wonderful day in this neighborhood. Da da ba da 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 da, would you be mine? So 4 of those. And then he gets into the bridge. The bridge is going to be the chords F, da 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 da, A7, da da da, D minor, da da, C diminished, which I'll show you real quick. That might be one that you haven't seen before. C diminished, and it's going to be it's going to be 2 3 2 3. C diminished. Use that chord a few times in this song. That leads us back to C, D minor 7, C diminished again, and G7. So here's that whole bridge part. And then he hits another verse, although he does that rubato. He doesn't have a steady beat under this next verse. Let's talk a little bit about the intro. So there is a more elaborate intro that Johnny Costa played on the piano that appears in the show, and actually I think they have xylophone performing some of this, but I just transcribed some of the chords from that. I didn't do the whole thing. But he does this little run up a scale, and I'll tab that out for you, but I'll describe the notes to you. It's the notes G, A, B, C, D, D sharp, and then we do these chords F major 7, E minor 7, D minor 7, and then it's questionable what chord you want to do here. You could do a plain old G7. I like to do a G augmented 7 though. Kind of gives it more of that that vibe that I think we need for this song. So that's my own interpretation. I put that chord in where normally I think there was a plain G7. I did a G augmented 7. I will make chord diagrams for you of these up the neck chords, but in case you need a quick description, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them, but real quick, 5 5 5 7 is your F major 7. 4 4 4 4 3 5 is your E minor 7. 2 2 1 3 is your D minor 7. And then that G augmented I was explaining is 0, 3, 3, 2. All right, so there you have it. And then we're going to have that rubato verse where he goes, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Here's how that goes. So melodically we have G on the 3rd fret E string. Now I will tab this out, of course. 3rd fret on the A string, which is the note C. And then we have 5th fret on the A string, which is D. And that creeps up to 7th fret on the A string, which is D. We take that whole phrase up to play A, D, E, F. A on the 5th fret, D on the 5th fret, E on the 7th fret, F on the 8th fret, and then the Won't You Be My Neighbor part, starting on the note B at the 7th fret of your E string, reaching way up to the A note at the 12th fret of your A string, so that's a big leap. Hard to sing. My voice wouldn't hit that if I tried, so I won't try. I'll spare you. Then we go down to G, which is at the 10th fret. Go back to B at the 7th fret of the E string. And then neighbor, those two notes are D at the 10th fret of your E string and C at the 8th fret of your C string. So learning these notes might help you learn the notes on the neck a little bit better, the locations of the notes. Trying to say it and play it, you know, you could go G, C, D, E, A, D, E, F, B, A, G, B, D, C. You could actually try saying and playing those a few times and it'll really sink in where things are on your ukulele. Now say you didn't want to play that, say you didn't want to do the melody and you wanted to do chords there, it's fairly easy. The would you be mine is a C. Would you be mine? Could you be mine is an A7. Would you be mine? And then won't you be my neighbor is D minor 7 to G7 to C. Won't you be my neighbor? So here's that rubato verse. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Bum 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 dun dun dun. So you have your choice there. You can do the melody or you can do the chords. So here, let's go over the song chord-wise one time through. Let's skip the intro. Forget, you know, just pretend we already played the and all of that, and we just kick in with da 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 That's all the chords for the song. Hope you enjoyed that, ukulele people. If you want any more detail, be sure to visit my Patreon page, which I will link to down below. And that will take you to tabs, chord diagrams, and all the specifics. I'll link to the original song. I'll link to a video on YouTube that you can hear the original opening theme on. And there's lots of other people performing it. Maybe I'll find a performance or two that you can listen to. All right, ukulele people, you take care. Bye-bye.